Skullgirls. Now there's a bit of an oddity. Originally published by Konami, but it was taken down when the publishers and developers went their separate ways. Now, thanks to the magic of Kickstarter, it's back, and not only that, free on PlayStation Plus. Taken on objective merit alone, this game is really just a generic fighter, but there are so many things this game does that I think it pushes itself ahead of the pack. Now, as the name might suggest, all of the combatants in this game are, well, girls. The plot of this game involves some sort of mythical gem called the Skull Heart, which can grant wishes, but will corrupt the hearts of people who make impure wishes. And really that's the first thing that took me aback by this game. I started experiencing what I'm calling the Adventure Time effect, where the game was giving me little hints of a much bigger world. And that's it, hints. And you just want to see that little bit more. Seriously, each character's brief story tends to introduce multiple brand new characters with excellent designs, and they only say a few words and disappear. The stories are so short you can't even get the full story for one character from just their story. Major plot details from other characters tend to be the focus of other characters' stories. Luckily, the game has a whole bunch of DLC characters planned to make their way out, and what's even cooler about that is that at first they're going to be free. Included with my download is the first DLC character, Big Band, who also happens to be the first male character. Him and another character, Peacock, ended up being my favorites to play as, because they're both just downright hilarious.
I have to go now.
Incredible!
My planet needs me. You will be prosecuted to the full extent of the jail.
That's the thing, with a game like this, there's plenty of fan service to go around. But honestly, I think focusing on that is doing a disservice to the rest of the game. That said, if you're all about the chest, you've got plenty of options here. Schoolgirl space, easy space, robot space, Nazi space, you know. But each character is so unique and every move they take is full of so much personality that I think that focusing on just one part of their body is doing a huge disservice to the creators of this game. Now let's dig into the actual fighting. I never really had any interest in becoming a fighting game expert, but even with the time I've spent with this game, I've seen that it has plenty of depth hidden behind a simple and fairly easy to use control scheme. Something I found interesting is that from what I can see, it's not based so much around the idea of having elaborate button combos, though those are in this game, but knowing which abilities to use and when. The one big thing about this that I kind of feel like it needs mentioning is the final boss of the adventure mode they have going here. The boss battle really just kind of throws all the rules of the actual game out the window, and just kind of isn't that much fun to play because it just sort of throws stuff at you. It really feels like the boss battle from some other game. Now, when I was looking up stuff about this, people said that that was intentional. It's supposed to be an homage to those old fighting games that would have some sort of super cheap boss that make you go through a ton of quarters or whatever. But that's not really an excuse. I ultimately end up going to the easiest difficulty with each character in order to get their stories, and I found that I was able to make exactly as much progress button mashing, fighting on the easiest difficulty as I was on the normal difficulty I started off on. Now, something that might put a few people off is that there really aren't that many characters compared to most fighting games out there. There are more coming in the form of DLC, and it will be free if you buy the game now. But honestly, I'd take these few really well developed characters over a whole bunch of characters. Something I will say, and I'm honestly surprised I picked up on this, so it's probably even more frustrating for people who actually play fighting games regularly, but I could tell that a lot of moves were just palette swaps basically for existing moves. There's a nurse type character who functions exactly like any kind of ninja thing, making doubles of herself and shuriken throws, that kind of thing. I've alluded to it, but this game is beautiful to look at, for whatever your reasons. The backgrounds are amazingly well made, and every character is really well animated. Something I will say is that a lot of people describe it as smooth animation, and that's not really accurate. There aren't really that many frames of animation, they're just really good frames. This might seem like a bit of a minor nitpick, but when I like a game, I try to get as many trophies in it as possible. But when I looked up the requirements for the trophies for Skullgirls, I was really disappointed to find out that it was basically just a whole bunch of really grindy stuff involving using the exact same move over and over again with each character. I'm gonna be honest, Skullgirls is a game I probably wouldn't have ever gotten if it wasn't for the fact that it came free with PlayStation Plus. But honestly, I'm glad that I got to experience it. I just wish there was that little bit more. I really want to know more about this world they've built. And one more thing, the music, it's so good. I honestly kind of want to recommend this game just because the music is so nice. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, you can check out last week's review, PES 2014, where I team up with my co-commentator, Ernesto Guillermo. I want to give special thanks to Joe Broku and Goodbye 18,000, or the Let's Player of the North. Thanks to them, I didn't have to recover as much of my footage when it was corrupted, and I was able to get this review out slightly sooner than I was hoping. So yeah, if you like this video, subscribe to them.